Jim, I have to thank you first for the incredible support that you are giving to Prague Days Chicago.
My pleasure.
And also for having us in your home and in the studio, which to me looks like a museum of rock history.
It's definitely a museum. You know, many years of being in the business and collecting guitars. You see guitars all over here and all the best equipment. I'm very blessed that being a musician, I have all the tools ready to go.
And we met a few times, and I was always impressed by all the stories you told me about your Czech heritage. So, and I said that we should record this, so that's why we are here today. And so my first question would be, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say Czech or Bohemian?
I think of my upbringing in Berwyn, Illinois, the wonderfully kept brick bungalows right next to each other all throughout the streets of Berwyn and Cicero, and the porches, and every house had a different personality. And as I walked to Hiawatha School and then later to Piper School, I knew every house by heart. And the people would sometimes, you know, come out on the porches and wave to me. And I just loved that neighborhood feel of Berwyn, Illinois. I've listened to Czech music throughout my whole life, mainly the polkas. My dad had all these. Well, he loved Romy Goss, and he loved Wayne King. In fact, they used to call my dad Little Wayne King. And my dad grew up in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and there was a large Czech enclave there. His father was from near Prague, and so yeah, all my life I've had the Czech melodies in my head, in my heart, and that whole, almost like a party atmosphere. You know, the polkas was such a joyous type of music. But, and of course, the classical Czech composers were great too. And I like to think that some of my best melodies in my rock songs maybe had some lineage with the Czech composers.
And you also told me that you visited Prague with your wife. So what would be your feelings when you came to the Czech Republic, and any nice experience that you can share with us, perhaps?
I felt like I was going home. You know, we started in Vienna, and we took a bike ride with a group of maybe 15 people with the REI group, and every day we would do about 60 miles, and soon we were in the Czech Republic, and going across the rolling hills with all the crops, you know, to the right and to the left. And at the end of every day, we would stay at a little Czech inn, and the family would make us dinner, and, you know, pork, sauerkraut, dumplings, konečky, zeli, and bepševi, you know, just like my mother used to make. And I used to break out the guitar, you know, and how can I convince you what you see is real? Who am I to blame you for doubting what you feel? I was always reaching. You were just a girl I knew. I took for granted the friend I have in you. You know, and I'd be singing, and the people in the Czech Republic would be singing along. I'd go, you mean my music made it all the way to over there? And I was amazed that everybody knew Eye of the Tiger. As soon as I went into the Eye of the Tiger, everybody started singing along in the Czech Republic, and I was like, this is cool.
That's wonderful to hear. And I know also that you have something here with you to show. I think you had a nice walk through Prague. Right?
Yes. We were in Prague, and again, I was with my tour group, which is a mixed blessing. It's great because you have a tour guide, but if you want to stray off the path, it's like you can't do it, you know. So we're walking through the sidewalks of Prague, and there's these artists lined up for miles and miles, and it was wonderful. And every kiosk was neater than the next. But as we passed this one kiosk, I saw a painting that I knew I had to have, and yet the group was marching on, you know. And I got about a mile past that kiosk, and I said to my tour guide, I got to go back. I got to get that painting. It's speaking to me, you know. So he was really, you know, kind of mad, you know, okay, you know. And he led me back to that kiosk, and there it was. And the painter, the artist, was just packing up his wares. And I said, "Do you still have that one painting with all the musicians?" And he spoke very broken English. Oh, yes. And he unwrapped it. It was already in the truck or the van. And he got it out. I said, "Yeah, that's the one. That's the one." So he rolled it up, you know, and I was a proud guy. And I got home and I had it framed. And in fact, I have his photograph with me and this very tall, handsome Czech guy with the blonde hair, you know. One day I want to find that guy and thank him and tell him how much his painting has inspired me.
So we will try that with this video that hopefully, I'm kind of sure, will rock the Czech Republic.
I hope so.
I hope so.
He was so good. It really inspired me. Well, I'm just thrilled to be a part of this. And I've been wanting to, you know, whenever the Ides of March take the stage, we don't say we're the Ides of March from Chicago. We say we're the Ides of March from Berwyn. That is our roots. That is our heritage. That was almost 100% Czech community when we were growing up. And, you know, going down, you know, Cermak Road, and you had the old bubbas, we called them, with their shopping carts, and they were shopping at Vasesky's bakery and all these very, very Czech establishments. Of course, all the savings and loans where we would put our money in and save our money, just like all good Czechs, and get a toaster once you put in $500. You know, they had the incentives back then, and so this is great memories.
You actually found out my question, and that was, I want to jump back to Ides of March, because I was also told by you and Bob as well, you know, one of the original Ides of March members, Bob Bergland, that you actually all were Czechs, or at least partly.
Well, yeah, I'm 100% Czech. Bob Bergland is half Czech. Larry's half Czech. Scott May, 100% Bohemian, as we used to call. Mm-hmm. And of course, Chuck Somar, who's no longer with the band, he was 100% Czech. We just, we feel that. We feel that Czech heritage every time we play. It may be why I work so hard. It may be why I will not give up. There's something in me. My dad had it. He had the eye of the tiger without knowing it. He wanted to earn money for his family. He worked every day of his life, you know, and until his hands were all gnarled with arthritis, he was still playing that saxophone. And I think that's something us Czech people have in common. We have a stick-to-itiveness that we want to achieve, and we don't let anything stand in our way.
That's very nicely said. I couldn't do a better ending of the interview. Of course, Berwyn, and some of our viewers may not know, what is on Cermak Road, which Anton Cermak was, of course, Czech mayor of Chicago.
Yes.
And I was told, actually, I don't know if you, since you are from that area, you can confirm it eventually, that Cermak Road going through Berwyn and Cicero, who were the traditional Czech neighborhoods in Chicago, used to be called Bohemian Wall Street.
I did not know that.
I was told that because of those old banks and Czechs saving a lot of money, that it used to be called that. So you couldn't confirm that. Perhaps we will.
The Bohemian Wall Street. I love it. I love it. Well, you know, this isn't exactly Czech, but I will blow my own horn for the Ides of March. We went to Morton West High School, right on Home Avenue, and 3 years ago, that street was declared Ides of March Way. We have our own street declared for us, and now you go in front of Morton West all the way from Riverside Drive to Cermak Road, and there is Ides of March Way, and we are just so proud of that. And we just started a scholarship fund 3 years ago, and actually tonight we're awarding the 3rd annual music scholarship by the Ides of March, and it will be at the auditorium where we used to play in Morton West every year. And it all comes back home again.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Boris,
for everything you are doing for the festival.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Thank you.